What's up guys, Chigs there from Chigs Tech Reviews. Today I've got my hands on the new HD version of the Chromecast Google TV dongle, and this one is a lot cheaper than the 4K version. So £35 or $30 in the US, and the 4K version is like £60 in comparison. So certainly seems like a bargain at this low price point, and you are getting official Android TV OS and full HD streaming across the board, including Netflix HD. But when we compare this HD version to the 4K version, some features and specs are different. So let's find out how good this thing really is, starting off with what's in the box. So you're getting a user guide. We've got two AAA batteries included, a power cable that's USB-A to USB-C, a 5-volt power supply, a small compact Bluetooth remote which is powered by two AAA batteries included in the box. Now we've got shortcuts for YouTube and Netflix. On the side you've got volume control, and you can see you've got the Google Assistant button as well. So this remote control does have a built-in microphone for voice control. And this is a 2-in-1 remote. It's Bluetooth and infrared. And last but certainly not least, the Chromecast itself. So here it is guys, the latest Chromecast with Google TV. So this is basically a dongle which you stick into the back of your TV, and all you have for ports is a Type-C power port, and there is a pairing button on the back for your remote control, and that is pretty much it. All right, so let's just quickly run through the specs. So the new Chromecast is powered by the S805X2, which is a quad-core Cortex A35 CPU, along with the Mali G31 graphics. So the maximum resolution supported is 1080p at 60 Hz, compared to the 4K version, which supports 4K 60. So a slightly slower processor than what we have in the 4K version, and also slightly less RAM. So 1.5 gigs of RAM in this unit. The 4K version has 2 gigs of RAM. But this unit will give you AV1 video decoding, which is certainly a plus point. Also, the storage has been upgraded. So we used to have 4 gigs of internal storage. You now have 8 gigs. So that's definitely a plus point. Still supports Wi-Fi 5, so 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Bluetooth looks like is exactly the same, so Bluetooth version 4.1. This does support Google Android TV OS version 12. So yeah, this supports full HD 60 FPS streaming, but also you do get HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and HLG. Unfortunately, the HD version does not support Dolby Vision. You only get Dolby Vision in the 4K version. But I'm happy to say Dolby Digital, Dolby Digital Plus, and Dolby ATMOS are still available via HDMI Passthrough. Now, a few of you have mentioned, why buy a TV stick or a TV box or a Fire Stick when your TV already has smart functions? You can do a lot more on these TV dongles / TV boxes than you can do with your smart TV. They are definitely more powerful and faster than your built-in TV software. Unless you've got the top of the range Sony TV with full Android TV OS built in, you're not going to get a better experience than what these external devices can give you. So if you want speed, performance, plus better usability and more features, then you want to pick up one of these type of devices. That is what they are actually for. So without any further ado, I am going to get this hooked up to my TV and capture card, and we're going to find out exactly how good the new HD version actually is. I'll be right back. So first of all, I ran a boot up speed test, and this device took 41 seconds to fully load the home screen from a cold start. And this is the very latest Google Android TV OS version 12, with everything conveniently placed on one page for a user-friendly experience. And this is of course the latest version of Google's Android TV OS version 12. Now, every time you boot up, the first page you're going to see is the For You page. You can see the navigation menu at the top. And basically, as you scroll down, you will see recommendations of what to watch next. Now, there is a lot to see on one page, and if you think there is too much, you can click on Manage Services and you can switch things on and off as required. Now, over here you can see you've got an app section, so all your installed apps will appear here. If we go to the top and go to the left, first of all, you will see the search page. So it just gives you recommendations on how to use the search and what to search for. So you can see it says, try saying, what's the weather tomorrow? Tell me a joke. How many seasons does Mr. Brilliant have? And so on and so forth. If we go back out, we're back to the For You page. If we tap right, you got your film section, TV shows, app section. This is where you will see all your apps, but also this is where you can download more apps from. Now you'll notice that this is not the full version of the Play Store. This is a condensed version, so apps that are designed to work only on Android TV. So slightly limited than the full App Store, but you can sideload apps if you know how. Okay, and next to the apps page, you have your library. So under library, you will see your purchased movies and shows, and you can also manage your watch list from here. Now let's just head over to the main system settings. Now I'm going to go through some of the main options here. So under display and sound, you've got HDMI CEC enabled. You can switch it off if you want to. Maximum resolution supported is 1080p at 60 Hz. Now other options, you've got text scaling, dynamic range and color format. So preference is HDR or SDR. You can match content or always HDR, and you can choose your color format, and there are your options. Okay, if we keep going, match content, frame rate, seamless, non-seamless or never. Advanced display options, you can allow game mode or you can select the format, and I've got it set to automatic. So system sounds and advanced sound settings. Now let's go back. Under Wi-Fi options, you will see all your Wi-Fi networks. I've already connected to my 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and that happens during the setup process. All right, now under system, you have accessibility. About, we can initiate system updates. Scroll down and you will see Android TV OS version 12 and the security patch and kernel information below. System storage information, let's check it out. So internal storage is 8 gigs. From that, we have 4.7 gigs usable. And if we scroll down, available space is 3.1 gigs. So you can see nearly 1 gig worth of apps have been pre-installed already, and that was during the setup process. Power and energy, you got casting options. So yes, this does support Chromecast, and I do want to test that out very quickly. So I've got YouTube open on another phone. I'm about to cast one of my videos to the living room TV 2, which is this device, and there you go. It's working fine. iPhone 13 Pro versus iPhone 14 Pro. And you can pause the video, control the volume, everything directly from your phone. So Chromecast is working absolutely fine as expected. All right, so we're going to do a quick microphone test for the remote. You have to keep the button pressed in order for this to work. What is the weather like today in London?
Today in London, there will be showers with a forecast high of 14 and a low of 9.
How many seasons are there of Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones has 8 seasons.
So now it's time for the YouTube test, and there is a YouTube button on the remote. I'm going to press it just to show you how that works. And we got YouTube open. And you can see the maximum resolution supported on YouTube is 1080p 60 Hz with HDR. So this is actually a 75-inch LG TV. We're streaming 1080p at 60 Hz with HDR, and the streaming quality looks impressive. And I am sitting quite close to the screen, and I am not seeing any pixelation. So yes, streaming quality is impressive. Let's play a few more trailers.
Perhaps I should explain.
All right, so that was the YouTube test, and now we're going to check out Netflix. So we've got Netflix 1080p. It also supports HDR and Dolby ATMOS. And as you can see, Disney Plus supports IMAX Enhanced and HDR10. All right, so next up, Amazon Prime Video supports HDR with Dolby ATMOS. Okay, so time for a basic gaming test. We're playing beach buggy racing. For you advanced users, DRM info does show Google Widevine level 1. And here is Ada64, where you can check out the clock speeds. You can see that this is running the Mali G31. And here is some further information on the RAM and storage. And also at the bottom, you can see Bluetooth version 4+. So we've got the same Bluetooth version 4.1. The Bluetooth has not been upgraded. And in the Wi-Fi speed test, we were able to achieve download speeds of 53 and upload speeds of 19 megabits per second. And in our office, the typical top speed is around 60 megabits per second, so slightly lower than our top speed, but the upload speed is on par. And here are the results for the internal disk speeds. So we achieved read speeds of 71 megabytes per second and write speeds of 29 megabytes per second. Now moving on to the benchmarks, beginning with Geekbench, single core score of 107 and multi-core score of 353. And I did run the AnTuTu benchmark test numerous times. It would get to 92% and then the benchmark test would stop. I tried this a few times with the same results. So AnTuTu doesn't seem to be working correctly, and I actually sideloaded both AnTuTu and Geekbench. And to give you an idea of how this box ranks against the competition, here is my top performing Android TV box chart for 2022, showing you the latest TV boxes and seeing how they compare with each other. The ranking is usually based on AnTuTu benchmarks, but because AnTuTu did not work, I used the Geekbench results and the specifications. And guess what? The Chromecast HD ranks at position 28 on this chart, just under the Chromecast 4K version. So not a lot between them performance wise, and as the new Chromecast HD has a slightly slower chip and less RAM, I've given it a rating of 3.8 out of 5. Now you can view the full versions of all my charts online at chixtech.com and read them at your leisure. So there you have it guys, that was the new Chromecast HD with Google TV. And here are my thoughts. This device streams at full HD quality and supports HDR and Dolby ATMOS sound. Streaming quality is constantly smooth throughout with no buffering issues. General performance is also pretty good unless you try to multitask. That's when you're going to feel the lag. For example, if you're installing an app and then you try to navigate the home page at the same time, you're going to experience lag. 1.5 gigs of RAM is just not enough in this day and age. They could have kept it to at least 2 gigs or even upgraded it to 3 gigs of RAM. That would have been nice. Also, this RAM is only LPDDR3, which is again too old and slow for a 2022 device. Same with the internal storage, just not enough space, and also the storage speeds are too slow. So I'm thinking you're giving us old and slow RAM and storage, slower CPU, and you're still charging $30. I think based on what you're getting, this device should have cost no more than $20 to $25 to make it a fairer price, especially when it's not going to cost Google anything for the Android TV licensing as it is their own. They could have certainly made this a better deal. Ideally, even for a full HD streamer, this device should have had better specifications or at least DDR4 RAM for better multitasking capabilities. And with all that being said, remote control is really good and responsive. The device will of course get all the latest ATV updates first, which is another plus point. Overall picture and streaming quality and support for Atmos audio is great, and if I had to choose between this and the Fire Stick 4K or even the Fire Stick HD, I would actually be choosing the Fire Stick, as it's cheaper and it offers a better overall specs and performance. Saying that, Google TV OS is the better OS when compared to Fire TV OS, but the specs and performance are also important. If Amazon can constantly upgrade their hardware, why does Google feel that they don't need to? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Meanwhile, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.